Hi everyone, I am in Saint Julien today. Saint Julien is a tiny appellation located in the Medoc region, so the left bank of Bordeaux. We are about 50 kilometers from Bordeaux. Tiny appellation, but very high in terms of quality, as here we find the Chateau Bechevel, Chateau Gruau-la-Rose or Chateau Lagrange where I am today. Many chateaux Grand Cru classés. Chateau Lagrange is the third cross in the 1855 classification, and we are going to discover this chateau today. You follow me? Hi Elisa.
Hello Xavier.
I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Very happy to welcome you in Chateau Lagrange.
Thank you very much. So what is your job here at Chateau Lagrange?
Here in Chateau Lagrange I'm in charge of the wine tourism. We welcome around 7,000 people per year and we do many different tours, different tastings. We also do workshops like the blending workshop. We have a chef working here in Chateau Lagrange, so we also do lunch and dinners. He's a Japanese chef, so he's doing cooking with the French gastronomy and Japanese influence.
They say fusion.
Fusion food, exactly. So people can come here, enjoy a really nice tour and a nice tasting, and then have a nice lunch inside the chateau.
So Chateau Lagrange is very involved in wine tourism.
Yes.
You are also, of course, a wine producer. How many wines do you produce?
We produce 4 wines, 3 red wines, 2 here in Saint Julien, Chateau Lagrange, the first label. Here we are a 3rd classified growth in 1855. Second label, Les Fiefs de Lagrange. Then we started a production in the Haut-Médoc appellation. It's called the Haut-Médoc de Lagrange. It's an easygoing wine. And we also produce a white wine, so we bought plots not so far from here, and we started to do a production with Sauvignon Blanc, Sauvignon Gris and Sémillon. So it's a dry white wine called Les Arômes de Lagrange.
So 3 red wines and 1 white wine.
Yes.
I have to say that when I come here with people to visit the Chateau Lagrange, they are always very impressed by the building. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history of the chateau?
Yes, so if you look at the architecture of the chateau, you can see that there is 2 different styles, the chateau and the tower. The chateau, it's really the typical architecture of the 18th century, which is very classical. It's the Chartres style in French. And the tower, it's much more modern with an Italian and a Tuscany influence. And it was built during the 19th century and designed by Visconti. Louis Visconti, he was an Italian architect, and he gave this Italian influence to the chateau. So it's very romantic with a balcony, and it's nice together, those 2 styles of architecture.
Thank you, Elisa. What is the next step?
Let's go to see the tanks now.
Well, Elisa, we are in the vat room now. It's very impressive room, because how many vats do you have here? So many.
Yes, we have 102 tanks because we have 103 plots in the vineyard. So it's 1 tank per plot. So we are very precise. We really do a plot by plot vinification. That's why we have a lot of tanks here.
You have vats upstairs as well.
Yeah, to have a lot of tanks in one place.
One place.
We harvest usually at the end of September, beginning of October, and everything is done by hands. The grapes are coming here. We do a first sorting by hands and a second sorting by machine with an optical sorting machine.
So it's very high tech, huh?
Yeah, it's very precise. Here in Chateau Lagrange, we try to mix modernity in the vinification and traditional method in the vineyard. So it's a mix.
It's a mix of both.
Then we will do the vinification for the red and white wine, and we will do the blend in January, and we will age in barrels all our wines blend.
So the next step is happen in the barrel cellar.
Yes, exactly.
That's what we are going to see now.
Let's go to see the barrels now.
We are in the vat room here, so we are surrounded by how many barrels do you have here? So many.
Yes, we have around 5,000 barrels here.
5,000? Wow, that's really a lot.
Yeah.
And the wine will stay for how many months in a barrel?
So here we have 5,000 barrels, and it's only French oak. We age all our wines in barrels. Chateau Lagrange is here for more than 20 months inside the barrel, so it's a long aging. Lagrange, the second label, around 12-14 months. Same thing for the Médoc de Lagrange, and for the white wine, we also age it for around 6 months in barrels.
That's really a long time. So that's where the magic happens, if I could say. So it's a very slow process, what we call the aging.
Yes.
But it's the time where the wine meets the wood.
And we keep the barrels for 4 years maximum, because after 4 years we can't really extract some oaky flavors. And it's good because we are owned by a Japanese whiskey company, so the barrels they fly to Japan after.
To age the whiskey inside,
and
so they have a second life in Japan.
In Suntory whiskey, but the whiskey of Suntory and other whiskey producer use
your barrels.
Our barrels.
The barrel inside is, we say, toasted, so it's kind of burn inside.
Yes.
That gives aromas too.
The coopers they toast the barrel a first time to give the barrel this facial shape, and then they toast a second time to extract some aromas from the oak. Depending on the time of the toasting, we can extract different aromas. So here it's always usually medium or medium plus toasting. We don't want flavors very strong, very high. We want very subtle and delicate and elegant flavors. The blend is done by the 4 winemakers working for Chateau Lagrange and the consultant, Eric Boissonneau. So 5 winemakers are in charge of the blend, and the blend is every year is different because every year the weather is not exactly the same.
And the quality of the fruits, the quality of the wine will be different as well. So this is the art of the blending. The art of blending, they have to try to find the best mix, best composition. Next step is the tasting room. Okay, so let's go now. So that's where you welcome the people after doing the tour, at the end of the tour. Which kind of wine tasting do you offer here?
So we offer many different tours and tastings. Of course, we can propose a classic tour, but also private tours, and that's the tasting of the private tours that we have here. So for the private tour is really great because we are lucky to taste the Chateau Lagrange 2005, which is a really, really good year, very good vintage, really enjoyable now. Also a second label, Le Fief de Lagrange 2015, which is also a very great year. Le Haut Médoc de Lagrange 2016, and Les Arômes de Lagrange, the white wine 2018. So only great vintages for the private tour, but we also propose vertical tasting. And you can do that blind, so you taste 4 different wines and you don't know what you taste. And the goal is to guess the vintage, the wine. Of course, it's wines of Chateau Lagrange. But
you're here also to help the people.
Yes, of course, it's really a tasting class, but blind. So it's really great, really interesting. We also do some blending workshop. So we propose to the people to taste, to try samples of Chateau Lagrange, of Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Petit Verdot, press wine. So you can taste different samples. You don't know if it's a first label or a second label sample, but from Chateau Lagrange. And then you have to guess to make the Chateau Lagrange wine. And you can blend with the Cabernet Sauvignon, the Merlot, the Petit Verdot. So you can do something very close to Chateau Lagrange or something completely different.
Depending on your taste, depending on your...
it's really...
it's your own wine. But it's very educational, by the way, because
very
you taste the grape varieties really individually.
Yeah. It's really interesting to try the Cabernet Sauvignon, the Merlot, the Petit Verdot from Chateau Lagrange, and then to really understand the blend work, but it can be also very funny. And now we created the digital masterclass, and you can choose what you want, if you prefer to talk about the blend, if you prefer to talk about the terroir, but of course we explain everything, but then we adapt this masterclass to the people,
So people they can contact you on Facebook. I imagine you're on Facebook.
Website, by email, and we can do that, of course.
That's very interesting. Thank you very much, Elisa, for your time.
Thank you.
For showing
Thank you very
around.
much for coming.
This is what you could visit. This is what you could see. This is what you could taste if you were decided to come to Saint Julien appellation and visit the Chateau Lagrange. Maybe also meet the charming Elisa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for watching the video, and hope to see you very soon for new wine adventures. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.